Hello, welcome to Up Office. Just a quick undervolting review. My 7950X. I have undervolted to 4.8 gigahertz and I have 1.05 volts. So let's quickly open CPU-Z. So you can see, right? Okay. So there's a lot of videos online about undervolting, and well, don't know how to explain. Basically, all these undervolting things is good because we have to use them, but in the same time it's very wrong, and I will tell you why it's wrong. It's wrong from manufacturer perspective, because what they're doing, they're pushing thermal limits to the max, right? So your CPU is constantly thermal throttling to achieve maximum turbo boosts. So by default, this CPU on a single core can achieve 5.8 gigahertz, right? And to do that, it's basically draining a lot of power, especially when you're playing games, when you even don't need all these 32 threads, 16 cores. You don't need when you're playing games, and it's drawing too much power to achieve this single core boost. If you lower all core boost, because it's like a, how it's in English, it's like process per clock, like tact per clock. I don't know how to say that properly. I mean, the efficiency of CPU, the process per clock is this generation just insane. So that's why even if you locking the CPU 4.8, 4.9 or even 5 gigahertz and controlling the voltage, you getting massive gains against the stock. And that's what it's wrong about all these new CPUs from Intel and AMD. It's wrong. We'll tell you example. If AMD would put this CPU out in stock, all cores 5 gigahertz, and minimal as possible thermals, minimal as possible wattage, all YouTube channels or tech channels who is exploring technologies would just go nuts, and they would all say it's the best CPU ever. In the same time, they could leave that overclocking potential. Whoever wants overclock can go to 5.8. They could make this CPU basically by default, like I said, 5 gigahertz, everything as minimal as possible, like thermals and wattage, and then you make a special BIOS, and like you click one button and you overclock to that maximum boost 5.8. But by default it's 5 all locked. So that's the issue. And Intel is even worse. The 13900K is just crazy. It's slightly beating this 7950X, but using a lot more power, and slightly beating. But that that difference is just I don't know for who. No one gonna notice it, especially when if you have like me 4090, if you have RTX 4090. I'm telling you, it's just no difference. You have like 7950 or you have 3900. It's just no difference. Um, there's no monitors actually in market who can just take advantage as well. So basically, the best card is 4090, yeah. So that card is just for 4K. So or even more, or even 8K. So if you go below 4K monitor, you don't need that card. It's just waste of money as well. So okay, you have 4K high refresh rate monitor. So the maximum what you have in 4K at the moment, I think it's 165 or something like that. Might be 240, but I don't think so. So my monitor Asus is let me check quickly. Display settings 144 4K, right? So it's ROG XG27UQ. So 4090 with this CPU is maxing out majority of games. Obviously, like Cyberpunk is lower because it's just I believe the game is not optimized enough. It's too demanding game, and it's not optimized as well. But you don't need. There is a big issue with these new generation CPUs, because the companies, what they're trying to do, they're trying to achieve the best benchmarks for the YouTube channels. That's the main target for them. A hype is main target. Whoever is gaining the best gaming, but in real life it's all bullshit. It's just crazy. And in real life, 7950X, it's not because I have it, but it's really 7950X is a lot better than 13900. First of all, because the thermals, it's using lower power than 13900. Okay, and it's different architecture. It's 5 nanometer. Intel is still 10 nanometer. Yes, they have the best silicon, they have the best engineers and stuff like that. They can squeeze out from 10 nanometer a lot, as we can see now, but it's still using more power than 7950X from AMD. So AMD is the way to go, in my opinion. I can recommend anyone 7950X. It's just crazy good CPU. It's just really, really good. And the thing what's really pissing me off, and a lot of IT people, is that when you're getting it, you have to undervolt to get the best efficiency. That's mad. It should be like that from the box, and then you go to overclock if you want to. If you want to play around, if you want to play, if you want to basically enjoy overclocking and stuff. But for everyone everyday normal consumer should be the best efficiency out from the box. And these companies, to be honest, AMD and Intel, should be charged fines that they're not actually achieving that. And one day this law will actually come out. EU or something will came out with this law that companies have to achieve best efficiency, not the best benchmarks. And that's the biggest issue. So, what I did, I have 4.8 gigahertz all cores, and I have voltage 1.05 volts. If you check another undervolting YouTube channels, they have below 1 volt. They claiming they have, but I couldn't achieve that. I don't know why. It could be that my CPU is not so lucky. That's one option. The second option is that maybe, just maybe, I damaged my CPU when I installed it. Cause first, when I installed it, I put my old all-in-one liquid cooler from NZXT, but it was in storage for 2 years and the pump failed, so my CPU overheated dramatically twice, and system shut down twice because it was overheated. It was running 500 megahertz only. Yeah, crazy. And because of that overheat, I probably damaged the CPU somehow. And because of that, it's now running 4.8 only on 1.05. I'm not engineer in that, if that's possible. So if the damaging is possible because of that overheat, I'm just guessing. So it's one option. I damaged a bit CPU, and that's why it's running a bit on higher voltage. And second option is just I'm not very lucky with the silicon lottery. But yes, so I did a lot of tests. I was running CPU benchmarks for all night, and the only stable option was this one is 1.05 volts. Unstable was 0.95. I always go not just 0.05 above, but by 0.01 above, something like that. So I always go like 2 figures above to make sure it's stable. Yes, so I spend a huge time. So it's my results. So I'm just the ordinary person at home, right? With the new technology costing like $3,000. This all setup, right? It's a lot of money, but if you need a lot of power, if you want to go in, if you in the market now for new CPU and new motherboard, I think it's a way to go, because AMC proved before that when you go in the new generation, you will be okay for like 3, 4, maybe even 5 years. So in the future, I hope to be able to put a lot different CPUs in this motherboard, a lot better RAM memory in this motherboard. Yeah, so 4090 I got. It's for sale on UK marketplace, Facebook, because it's just a lot of money, and I occasionally gaming, but not that much. And if I can get money back for it, I will be happy. If I can't, I will keep it. Doesn't matter. I chill. GeForce, you know it. 3XD, how it's called. Yeah. I will have in the future video about this splitter connector, because 3 8 pin VGAs is attaching to it. You can see the, and then it goes to the video card. I will have extra video for it because I ordered another splitter cable with 4 pins, and at the moment if I want to overclock this card I can't, because MSI Afterburner is not giving me option to overclock it because I have only 3 connectors. But if I plug another extension cable with 4, I might be able. So I will put video out about it. That's interesting. Okay, let's talk about CPU again. So quickly, let's run Cinebench R23, right? And on a long session and start, right? Oh, let's put system information and temps as well. So what we can see, we're doing 142 watts. Yes, I agree it's not the best, because like I said, my CPU might be damaged or I'm not lucky in silicon lottery. 4.8 gigahertz in 140 watts. But in the same time, if I compare what's happened before in the market, it's just nuts. Especially how many points it's getting in every benchmark with these settings. It's just really. I had the Threadripper system before, 3960X, right? And this system is more powerful than Threadripper and using 3 times less power. Right? So now I have 65 degrees on full 66. When I leaving it for all night, it never goes above 70, even if you have quite hot property. But again, like you see, I have quite good cooling in a case. So, and this EVGA all-in-one liquid cooler, 360, what I have, because my NZXT failed. I bought this one only because it was like £70 on offer on Amazon. £70 for 360 all-in-one liquid cooler. And EVGA is just really good brand. I couldn't resist myself. I thought I would be stupid not to buy it. I know it's not the latest model from all-in. It's quite old model. It's been released like quite old, but still, for that price, it's just nuts. 70 quid for this is just steal. I had to buy it, and as soon as I bought it, I checked after like 4 or 5 hours. It was 90 quid, and then I checked a few days later, it was like over 100 quid. So I don't know how lucky I was, but yeah, I got it very cheap, and that's why I bought it, and I'm quite happy. Okay, let's go back to temps. You can see it's 44, 46, and it's been running now for at least a couple of minutes. And now we quickly gonna change it. We're gonna go to single test because the CPU is warm enough to show you the real CPU tests. And remember, it's undervolted now to all cores 4.8 gigahertz. And it's using on max only 140 watts. Okay, look at the results. 35,240, right? I can tell you even now, I will put on default this CPU soon, and you will see only 1,500 maximum gain, right? But it will use 100 watts more. So it's huge deal. It's really huge deal. Okay, let's close these things up, restart, and go in a BIOS. Another thing about BIOS what I need to tell you, why I don't use Ryzen Master. I discovered that if you go very busy Windows, a lot of software, a lot of all kind of things installed, Ryzen Master sometimes could fail a bit, and it's not the best as the BIOS. So if you want to undervolt your CPU, I would recommend to do it in a BIOS because it's always guaranteed will run at the settings what you put in the BIOS. If the system failed and freezed or restarted, it's the different story. But if you tested before properly and it's stable, then you will never have issues. So today I just installed the latest 1.11 BIOS system because it's just released, and I'm checking nearly every 2 or 3 days. You can see I have Ryzen 7950X, 32 gig memory. It's saying DDR4.8, but XMP is 6200, right? So I installed this BIOS today, and finally on the startup I can see the ASRock logo with the sign that delete or F12 can enter me in the BIOS. Before it wasn't happening, and it's because there's like a BIOS issue with the integrated VGA adapter, and I don't think it's actually all resolved at the moment properly. So there will be a lot more BIOS updates, and unfortunately, if you early adapter in the new system, you have to sacrifice with things like that. So but it's interesting for me how it works anyway. So yeah, so let's go to OC Tweaker, and we can see I have 4.8 gigahertz 6200 XMP, and we're gonna change it now. Auto, and reboot the system. So we're gonna go in the stock, and I will show you the stock difference. I don't want to make this video too long. As you can see, I'm making everything real life, because that's the difference. When you go to very big high technology channels, they're spending so much money on video editing and so much money on video recording. They are professionals, and you can't see stuff in real life, so you always a bit concerned what's been cut off. I'm showing everything in real life, right from my home, so you can see how the things is working with this high technology. Yes, you can trust it's 100% true. I'm not hiding anything. Look, even my coke tissues, e-cig, everything is on the table. So I'm not hiding nothing. Right, so we slowly booting up my system. I have too much junk software on a PC, on a startup. So we have to wait a little bit till it's finished. And then we can look further. So we can look. Before on idle it was like maximum 45 degrees. Now in stock it's in idle already more by doing nothing. That's crazy. So in my opinion, by doing nothing, if everything goes below 45, it's not good. But okay, well, we'll see. So CPU Z. CPU Z bench. $767 single core, multi-core 15,544. That's on stock settings, right? Okay, let's go hardware info. Start. Let's just put sensors on to show you the thermals and wattages. Update, we don't need that now. Okay, so and now we're gonna open not this one. Cinebench R30 R23. So minimize that. Long term running 30 minutes start. Okay. Let's look. It's only beginning and I have 225 watts, something like that. Right? Okay, let's go there. As we can see, we running in thermal issues. I constantly have maximum 95. Spoiler alert, I had Ice Giant installed before, I had another cooler installed before, and my opinion is it doesn't matter what cooler you have installed in stock settings, you always will run in maximal thermal limit, and that's what's the issue. This is made up only for the benchmarks, to show the people that this is one of the best gaming CPUs. It's just crazy wrong. It's crazy wrong, because if you undervolt and look this CPU potential, it's a lot better than Intel one. 13900K can't even compare to this one. Only because of nanometer technology. This one is using a lot less power, so can run stable in lower clocks and lower thermals and lower wattages than Intel one. So it is better CPU. So if they would put out in a box, let's say the same as I do, 4.8 all cores, like 120 or maybe even 100 watts, 40 degrees, right? Every single YouTube channel will say it's just nuts. It's the best CPU in the world. It's most efficient, and it's just crazy. Yes, it's slightly losing in Intel's in gaming and something, but it's like 3 times more efficient. So yeah, so that's the biggest issue now what we have in the market, and same with 4090. That undervolting video following, and another video following is this cable. I will change this extension cable to 4 slots, and then we'll see what happens then. That will be interesting one. Right, so now we're running quite long to warm up CPU, right? And we quickly stop and do a single test and see the benchmark difference. Right? Before we had what, 3500? No, 35,500, something like that. And now we have 36,700. So it's like 1,200 points. Yeah. But it was using now 100 watts more. So there's no brainer. Plus, I tested this stock and undervolted in games like CSGO, Cyberpunk, and I didn't see any difference in games at all. No difference. Because the performance per clock is so good for this new CPU. So it doesn't matter if your turbo boost is like 5.8 gigahertz. If you have 4090, or even if you have 3090 and you're playing 2K or something, it's just no difference. So it's a shame that we have to undervolt all these new technologies to get actually the best out from the best technologies. And that's wrong. I can't wait when big governments will make actually law out that they should be the best efficiency, like power efficiency from the box, and then all the rest, overclocking and stuff, is out for enthusiasts. But for the mass consumers, it should be the best efficiency, but it's not, and that's the biggest issue now. Why everyone have to go online and do a research how to undervolt and all stuff? Well, I tell you what, majority of people will not gonna do it. So that's wrong. I thought AMD is different company. I thought before, yeah, really, that AMD is better than Intel, and they're doing things different. But with this CPU, they did the same as Intel. Be the best in the benchmarks. Do a hype in a YouTube. It's a shame. Because if this CPU will run, doesn't matter, 4.8 or 5 gigahertz, the lowest wattage possible, the lowest temps possible, wow. I'm telling you, that would blow my mind and blow a majority of people in the world mind. And that would be the best move, right? Okay, so my quick show, not really quick, it's a long video, sorry about that, because I'm talking too much. Just trying to put the my thoughts and my point out about this new technologies. Yeah, so please follow my channel, subscribe. I will have a lot of interesting videos regarding 4090, regarding connector. I will have undervolting 4090 video. I will have a lot of interesting information for just ordinary person who can check in life how it works and how it is. So obviously, do you need to upgrade to this new system? I would say one thing. It depends how old your system is, and it depends are you willing to undervolt. If you don't want to undervolt, no point, because you will drain too much power, and it's not worth it in the long term. Because electricity costs and everything at the moment in the world is very high, so it's not worth it. But again, if you PC enthusiast, if you're really into this stuff and you're willing to undervolt, yeah, it is worth to upgrade. Yeah, it is really fast system, even if you undervolt. Okay, so that's the information for now. Please follow for the next videos, and bye for now. Bye.